Hey guys, okay, so I need to talk about something that happened last weekend, and I've been sitting with it for a few days because honestly, I didn't know how to start this video. I still don't really know how to start this video, but I'm gonna try because this one's been eating at me, and I think you guys need to hear it. Sunday morning, April 19th, Shreveport, Louisiana, 5:55 in the morning, a woman is standing on a rooftop with her 12-year-old daughter, and they just jumped. Both of them broke bones on the way down. Both of them survived, and inside the house they just jumped from, 8 children are dead. I'm going to say their names right now because I think that matters more than anything else in this video. Jayla, age 3, Shayla, age 5, Kayla, 6, Layla, 7, Marcaden, 10, Braylon, 5, Kadarian, 6, Saraya, 11. That's who we're talking about tonight. 8 kids, 1 morning. And look, I'm not going to spend this video talking about the man who did it. His name is out there. You can Google him in 2 seconds. I'm not adding to that pile. What I want to talk about is how this happened. Because this didn't come out of nowhere. This had warning signs going back years, and every single one of them got missed. I counted 6 of them, 6 moments where somebody somewhere could have done something different. 6 doors the system could have walked through, and every single one of them stayed shut. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to walk through those 6 doors. But before we get to any of that, you guys need to know about a woman named Shaniqua Pugh. Because this story, from start to finish, is really about her, not about him, her. And I think that's been getting lost in a lot of the coverage this week. Shaniqua got married in April of 2024. But here's the thing, and this is the part that honestly haunts me. Before she got married, she had tried to leave him once. Before the wedding, before the ring, before any of it, she tried to walk away. And when she did, he told her exactly what he would do if she ever actually went through with it. He told her, he would kill the kids, and then he would kill himself. He spelled it out for her. She heard it clearly. And she stayed. She married him anyway. And I know what some of you are thinking right now because it's what everybody thinks when they hear something like that. Why would she marry him after that? And guys, listen, if you've never been in a relationship like that, you don't know. You really don't know. You don't know what it feels like to believe that love is going to fix it. You don't know the pressure from family, from kids, from a whole community that's watching you. You don't know how deep you're already in by the time you finally see what you're actually dealing with. It is so much more complicated from the inside than it looks from the outside. And here's the statistic I want you to sit with for a second. In this country, 1 in 3 women who get murdered are killed by a current or former partner. 1 in 3. And the single most dangerous moment in an abusive relationship is not when the woman is in it. It's the moment she decides to leave. Shaniqua knew that. She'd been living with that knowledge since before her wedding day. And 2 years later, she filed for divorce anyway, because of infidelity. Her court date was scheduled for Monday morning, April 20th, the day after. She did not live long enough to sign those papers. She came that close. Okay, I need a second here. Let me just take a breath. Let's get into the doors. Because this is where the story really lives. In these 6 moments, door number 1, 2016, the first arrest, it was a DWI. That's it, driving while intoxicated. And I want to be fair here because that's not a huge red flag by itself. A lot of Americans have a DWI on their record. The system handles hundreds of thousands of those every year. It is not the moment where everything goes wrong. But it's the first time the system saw this man. It's the first time he showed up in a database. And because he pled out and paid his fine, it just kept going. Door 1, closed. Door number 2, 2019, 3 years later. And this one, guys, this one should have been the end of the line. This is where it should have stopped. He got arrested right near a high school, Caddo Magnet High School, if you want to look it up. He pulled a 9mm handgun out of his waistband and he fired 5 shots at another car. 5 shots in broad daylight, near a school. And there were children playing less than 300 feet from where those bullets landed, kids running around a schoolyard. And this man is firing a handgun in their direction. He pled guilty to illegal use of a weapon. The charges for it being on school property got dropped. He got 18 months of probation. And here's the part that matters. Under Louisiana law, that conviction legally banned him from owning firearms until 2029. That means 4 days ago when this shooting happened, he was not legally allowed to have a gun. Any gun, anywhere, in any house, on any property. He had 2, a small caliber handgun and a rifle-style pistol. And right now, the ATF is actively investigating how he got them. Nobody has the answer yet. But I need you to sit with this for a second because this is a huge part of the story. A man was officially banned by a Louisiana court from owning a firearm. That ban is in a national database. It's searchable. It is literally the whole point of the background check system. And he got 2 guns anyway. Somebody is going to have to answer for that. I don't know who yet. I don't know if we'll ever know, but somebody sold him those guns or somebody gave them to him or something broke in the system. Door 2 closed. Door number 3, February of this year, 2 months ago. And this is the one that's hardest for me to talk about because this is the one where everything could have actually changed. In February, he tried to kill himself. We know this because of a woman named Betty Walker, and I need to tell you who she is. Betty Walker is not his biological mother. His biological mom was a teenager battling a crack addiction when he was born, and she couldn't raise him. Betty Walker was a family friend who stepped in. She raised him. She's the one who told the New York Times about the suicide attempt on the record with her name attached. Because after he did it, he went into a VA facility. He was a veteran, 7 years in the Louisiana Army National Guard, never deployed overseas, left in 2020 as a private. So he qualified for VA mental health care and he went inpatient. And then at some point they released him, they sent him home. The family said he came home happy. And I believe they believe that. I'm sure he looked happy when he walked through the door. But happy is not the same thing as healed, not even close. And 10 days after he got released from the VA, he was on Facebook, publicly, writing a post asking God to guard his mind and his emotions when negativity came back. That post was public, you guys. Anyone on his friends list could read it, but nobody called, nobody checked in, nobody from the VA followed up as far as we know. I don't know what the VA's discharge protocol is for a post-suicide attempt patient. I don't think anybody outside the VA really knows, but I know this. That man was not okay when they sent him home, and they sent him back into the same exact house, the same marriage that was falling apart, the same financial pressure, the same kids split across 2 households. Door 3 closed. Door number 4, Easter Sunday, April 5th, 2 weeks before the shooting. He called his mom and his stepdad. His stepdad's name is Marcus Jackson. And he was crying on the phone, full on crying. He told them his wife had filed for divorce and he was drowning in dark thoughts. Those are his words, dark thoughts. His stepdad told him he could beat it. And his response is a sentence that this family is going to carry for the rest of their lives. He said, "Some people don't come back from their demons." That's what he said on the phone, 2 weeks out, and then the call ended. Nobody called a crisis line. Nobody called the cops. Nobody drove over to his house to check on him. And I want to be really clear here. I am not blaming them. I really am not. Most families in that exact moment do exactly the same thing. They hope, they pray, they wait for the next phone call to come and sound normal again. Because most of the time, that's exactly what happens. Most of the time, that sentence does not end the way this one ended. Most of the time, somebody saying they're drowning in dark thoughts does not mean that 2 weeks from now they're going to do what this man did. But this time, it did. Door 4 closed. Door number 5, Saturday, the day before the shooting. His brother-in-law, a guy named Troy Brown, was living in that house. And in the last few days, Troy kept hearing him say the same thing. Over and over, he'd say, "Bro, I do not want to lose my wife. Bro, I do not want to lose my wife." Just that sentence, on repeat, for days. And Troy told reporters afterward that he had never heard him talk like that before. In all the years they'd known each other, something was different. Something had shifted in him. But Troy had work Saturday night. He left the house at 9 p.m. And when he walked out the door, his brother-in-law looked calm. Calm, that's the word people keep using after the fact. He looked calm. He looked fine. Earlier that same day, he had taken his oldest daughter out to dinner, just the two of them, a one-on-one dinner date with his kid. And he posted about it on social media with laughing emojis. Laughing emojis, you guys. Somebody who has already decided to kill their children does not post laughing emojis, right? That's not how this is supposed to work. That's not how any of this is supposed to work, except sometimes, apparently, it is exactly how it works. Door 5 closed. And there was a 6th door, the court date, Monday morning, April 20th. The divorce papers were sitting in a courtroom waiting to be signed. He had known about that date for weeks. He had that date circled on some mental calendar. He knew exactly when it was. And somewhere between that Saturday night dinner and 5 in the morning on Sunday, something finally locked into place. Okay, I'm going to walk you through Sunday morning now, minute by minute. I'm not going to dramatize any of it. I'm just going to tell you what the Shreveport police released in their press conference, because it's enough. It honestly does not need me to add anything to it. The facts are the facts. Around 5 in the morning, he drove to his girlfriend's house. Her name is Christina Snow. She's the mother of 3 of the 8 children. She lived on Harrison Street. He shot her in the head. She survived. She's still recovering in the hospital. And then he took their 3 kids out of her house and got back in the car. 5:55 a.m. First call to Shreveport PD. Somebody's on a roof. Suspects inside. A male's been shot. 5:58 a.m. Second call comes in. The suspect is a relative of the caller. 5:59. Caller tells dispatch that about 9 people live in this house. Suspect has shot everyone inside. 6 a.m. exactly. The caller and her children have jumped from the roof. They're in the backyard now. Broken bones. Alive. 6:01. Police arrive on the scene. 6:07. Second location. Harrison Street. Another shooting reported. The caller says her boyfriend shot her, took her 3 kids, and fled the scene. 6:10. Dispatch connects the 2 shootings. Same guy. 6:15. He's carjacked a red Kia Sportage and he's on the move. 6:17. Traffic units spot that car heading south on Interstate 49. 6:29. He and police exchange gunfire. 7:03 a.m. He's pronounced dead at the scene. From the first call to his death, 1 hour and 8 minutes total. But this story, guys, this story had been in motion for years. And 6 doors had already closed along the way before that first phone call ever came in to dispatch. I want to tell you about the people who are still here, because they matter, and they don't get talked about enough in cases like this. Kayosha Pugh is Shaniqua's sister. She was living in that house on West 79th with her 12-year-old daughter. When the shooting started, they made it up to the roof. They jumped. They both survived. And while it was still happening, Kayosha managed to call a family member on her phone and scream that he had shot the kids. That is how the rest of the family found out. That phone call, Troy Brown, the brother-in-law who left for work at 9 p.m., his son died in that house. His daughter is the 12-year-old who came off the roof with scratches. His wife broke bones from the fall. And he told reporters through tears that he's never going to get to throw a football with his son again. He said, "These were 8 babies, precious babies, babies I helped raise on a daily basis." Betty Walker, the woman who raised him from childhood, the last time she saw him was the weekend before. He had brought the whole family to her house for dinner. She said he seemed totally normal. When her phone rang Sunday morning, she said one sentence that I cannot stop thinking about. She just said, my babies are gone." That's all she could get out. His biological mom, Mahalia, had texted him the Thursday before. Her last text to her son was asking him to give her grandson and her granddaughters a kiss from grandma. He never texted back. I want to say one more thing before I close this video out. I've covered a lot of cases on this channel, and I don't want this one to end the way true crime videos usually end. There's no real lesson here. There's no clean takeaway. There's nothing I can tie up in a neat bow for you. But there's one thing I do need to say, and I don't know when else I'd say it. The most dangerous moment for a woman in an abusive relationship is the moment she decides to leave. That is not my opinion. That is data. Every domestic violence research organization in this country has documented that. Femicide, which is the word for when a father kills his whole family, almost always happens within a few weeks or months of the wife filing for divorce or saying she's done. Chris Watts in 2018. Same exact pattern. There's almost always a prior threat that somebody heard, and there's almost always a system that had multiple chances to step in and just didn't. And the answer to why nobody stopped him is actually pretty simple, even though nobody likes hearing it. Our system is built to respond after somebody gets hurt. It is not built to intervene before. A pre-marriage death threat is not a prosecutable crime. A failed suicide attempt does not legally keep you inpatient. A Facebook post asking God to guard your mind does not trigger anything, anywhere, from anyone. And so 6 doors closed, one after another, year after year, and 8 kids ended up paying for every single one of them. That is the actual story here. I'm going to read their names one more time before I go. No commentary, just names and ages. Jayla, 3 years old. Shayla, 5. Kayla, 6. Layla, 7. Marcaden, 10. Braylon, 5. Kadarian, 6. Soraya, 11. Those are the children. That is who we lost last Sunday. Remember the image I gave you at the beginning of this video? The father on the front porch on Saturday afternoon, watching his kids play in the yard. The neighbor across the street waving at him. The kids running around. 12 hours later, those kids tried to make it to the back door. Investigators found bullet holes in that door when they processed the scene. The kids had tried to get out. That was the 7th door, the one the kids tried to open themselves. That one was closed too, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks for watching.